The Gary's coming down.
Where's she coming?
All day, mommy, all night long. The music in the place, and the rhythm round your way. Whoopsin' and whoopsin',
Whoopsin' and whoopsin'.
ounce when you're bouncing,
Bouncing.
ounce for ounce. The Gary bounce.
Watch me.
Whoopsin' and whoopsin',
Whoopsin' and whoopsin'.
ounce when you're bouncing,
Bouncing.
ounce for ounce. We Gary bounce.
Let's go.
Oh, whoopsin' and whoopsin',
Whoopsin' and whoopsin'.
ounce when you're bouncing,
Bouncing.
ounce for ounce. We Gary bounce.
Let's go.
Whoopsin' and whoopsin',
Whoopsin' and whoopsin'.
ounce when you're bouncing,
Bouncing.
ounce for ounce. We higher level horns, say.
Y'all feel good out there? Y'all still dancing with me? You got that bumps and the bounce? Let's go. Y'all looking good out there? Come on. All right, y'all, we taking you way back. Way back. Come on. Huh. Y'all still feeling good out there? You still with me? Here we go. The men of today, sweet as a rose. Just check them out from head to toe. See how they walk, see how they twist. You can look good as gold, and you cannot resist. Who ain't looking good, good looking? Who ain't looking sweet, sweet looking? Who ain't looking nice in front, looking nice from behind? I am looking to see what I can find. Ha! Mind yourself, good on your level. Let me hear that music. Come on. Let me hear that music. Music. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go.
In the bush, yeah, we going in the bush. Deep, 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 deep in the bush. To remember all them time in the pond, catching black crabs, oh, till the break of dawn. I think I'll say that again. Remember all them times in the pond, catching black crabs.
Tonight, all eyes are on VJ Edgecombe at the 2025 NBA Draft, the 8th Bahamian to be drafted. Also, a historically red territory could be up for grabs in the next election. We'll tell you why. And later, BPL bills send residents into a frenzy, despite a promised rebate program. More on that straight ahead. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janelle Longley. Thanks for joining us. Off the top tonight, a new chapter in Bahamian sports history is about to be written from the shores of Bimini to the bright lights of Brooklyn. VJ Edgecombe is standing on the edge of greatness, set to join the ranks of Bahamian players in the NBA, following the footsteps of Michael Thompson, Buddy Hield, DeAndre Ayton, and Eric Gordon, just to name a few. His name is already buzzing in NBA war rooms, and if projections hold, he could hear his name called in the top 5, a moment that would not only change his life, but ignite pride across the Bahamas. Our Janaea Noel is live at the Barclays Center in New York, where the spotlight is locked on the son of the soil. Janaea, set the scene
Janelle,
for
I'm
us.
standing right outside the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York. The NBA draft goes down tonight. There will be coaches, scouts, NBA legends, but most importantly, our very own VJ Edgecombe, the Bimini native, who says he's excited for tonight's event, but before the camera flashes, he says he's more concerned about family.
And one thing I want to buy is my mama a house.
VJ Edgecombe, the 19-year-old from Bimini, Bahamas. He grew up with more determination than resources. He's now set to go to the top 5 in the NBA, but before he thinks about endorsements or celebrations, his mind is on home and the woman who helped him to get there. VJ is a product of Bahamian grit and discipline.
So knowing that every penny counts, literally every penny counts, and I got great people around me that's helping me with that. Making sure I don't do no crazy purchase, or making sure I think through everything before I purchase it.
He says he's walking into the NBA with a plan, surround himself with wisdom, and also to stay financially smart.
Because it can become a habit. You buy one thing, or I want another thing, and just being very foolish with my money. Like I said, I ain't had it all growing up, so yeah.
It's that level-headed approach. That Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Bolek says is no accident.
And Benja, I should say, his mother and his sisters and aunts and grandparents are coming out of the island of Bimini. He understands, what it is to be groomed and grounded in the spiritual realm, also. So then coming to the United States and just harnessing his potential, coming out of the gateway. I think that BJ understands what it is, and he's not going to let the dollar value of anything lead or guide him to destruction. Mm-hmm. And I think he's very focused, having a conversation a few times, being a part of the national team in Spain a year ago. So I believe I have most confidence that BJ, just like Buddy and those before him, will continue to stay focused and do their best to continue harnessing their talent, that they can stay in the NBA as long as they can.
But even with the world watching, VJ says he's keeping his eyes on what truly matters: country, purpose, and most importantly, family. The son of the soil, a star on the rise, and a reminder that greatness can start on a small court with a big heart.
What keeps you motivated at this level now, BJ?
My mom, my family, my brother, my sisters, everyone, the ones I love, keeps me motivated. Sure. My love for the game.
It'll be just a matter of minutes before VJ is expected to hear his name called on the largest stage in sports. And while he's excited, he's looking to the future and what lies ahead. He remains grounded in his faith and also his family. And he has the nation right there supporting him. Live from the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York, I'm Janae Noel. Back to you at the desk, Janelle.
And congratulations to VJ Edgecombe in advance for all watching for you and rooting for you here at home. Now, switching gears to local news, could there be a switch in the political trajectory on Long Island? It's a question that may be on the horizon, as the island that has been deemed a free national movement powerhouse now sees a number of residents praising the work of the Davis administration. A number of infrastructural upgrades are set to commence on Long Island in the coming weeks. And tonight we take a closer look at what these developments mean for the community. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. joining me live in studio with the details. Linton?
Janelle, reconstruction roadworks, airport runway renovations, modernization of water lines, and many more recently inked by the Davis administration has caught the attention of residents in the South. Now, Janelle, as we know, the island is a F&M stronghold, but could these long-awaited changes shake the grounds ahead of the upcoming general election?
The chart on the road is that people are happy. These things have been promised for quite a time now, and never has happened.
A new dawn may be on the horizon for residents of Long Island as decades of deteriorating infrastructure, which made everyday life challenging, could finally be coming to an end, and the anticipation for change is high. Chief Counselor for Long Island, Ian Knoll, says many are calling the recent contract signings under the Davis administration, valued at some $20 million, an answer to their prayers. The projects include roadwork rehabilitation, a major waterworks initiative, and a long-awaited upgrade to the airport runway. For years, locals have dreamed of building livelihoods off the island's natural attractions, but say that a lack of access due to the aviation hassles made that nearly impossible. The hope now is that these upgrades will catapult Long Island's economy.
With the airport development, we will see the island develop at B&B or hotel or business. Now is the time to start.
Knowles say these basic but critical resources will give Long Islanders the foundation to stand on their own.
Oftentimes, we depend too much on foreign direct investment, and when we as the aim is to do a lot for ourselves right here on our own islands.
And with several infrastructure upgrades already in the pipeline, there's one more request residents in the South hope will be added.
Cable Bahamas, Alive, and BTC improve their infrastructure with regards to telecommunications.
Now, Janelle, the island is gearing up for a surge in work with renovations to the Dedminski Airport set to begin next month, along with the reconstruction of roads from Stella Maris Airport to Salt Point. For now, reporting live in studio, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr., sending it back to you to desk, Janelle.
All right, thanks, Linton. And as election season heats up, Deputy Prime Minister and Chair of the Boundaries Commission, Chester Cooper, confirming to reporters that the commission will officially begin its meetings on July 2nd. The commission, which is chaired by Cooper, was established in December of last year with a mission to review the constituency boundaries ahead of the next general election. Now, the Boundaries Commission, if seen fit, is responsible for the addition or removal of boundary lines and the subsequent constituencies. The announcement comes just days before the opposition Free National Movement is expected to reveal part of its election slate, who he hopes will actually do so this time.
I think we had that announcement a few months ago, so we'll see what happens. But we continue to do the work of the people. The Boundaries Commission that I chair has been engaged loosely. We've had a few meetings already. The work began in earnest on July 2nd. When the House resumed, we're going to have a meeting before the House resume. We're going to start some deeper discussions as to what boundaries might look like moving forward.
Meantime, the Progressive Liberal Party, while not public about their election plans, are working behind the scenes. That's the word coming from opposition chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, Fred Mitchell, who had this to say earlier today.
In our democracy, for it to function properly, the sine qua non is a well-run election campaign, one that encourages the highest participation with a clean register, one that all persons accept as legitimate, and a time set with specific hours for the vote, a free exercise, free of intimidation and bribery, and a count that is open and fair. The Bahamas and all CARICOM countries as a whole have carried out these elections over the decades. The Bahamas is set to have such an exercise next year. Political parties are an integral part of that exercise, and the PLP is getting itself in fighting mode, building up troop strength, training the cadres of old and young voters, reviewing our programs and promises, and trying to ensure that next year, when the question is put, the PLP presents the best package to the electorate. You can see from our regional meeting that the PLP is on one page. The FNM is fighting like cats and dogs. There is no dispute about our leadership. The FNM has a problem. There is no dispute about our programs and policies, and there's no dispute about our view that most of all, no matter what, we must remain grounded and connected to the people of our country if we are to obtain a second term.
In other news, stark differences in electricity bills this month have left consumers in a frenzy, with many infuriated by the latest statements issued by Bahamas Power and Light. The outrage comes on the heels of promises by the Davis administration to lower electricity costs, and our Laurencia Smith has more on this.
Bahamians mincing no words this week, taking to social media sounding off over what many are calling a shocking surge in electricity costs. Comparisons of last month's bill to this month have left consumers in disbelief. One Facebook user shared that their bill jumped from $339 to $629. Another claimed a more than fourfold increase from $169 to $567, insisting that there was no major change in their electricity use. But not everyone is crying foul. Another resident admitted that his bill spiked from $543 to $844, but conceded that he used more electricity and expected the higher cost. In a statement released on Wednesday, Bahamas Power and Light acknowledged the increase, blaming it on the rise in fuel charges. The rate climbed from between 16 to 20 cents per kilowatt hours in May to 18 to 22 cents in June due to the dependency on diesel generation. To help offset the impact, the company has referred to the government's summer electricity rebate program, which took effect on June 24th. Under this initiative, government will subsidize the fuel charges for residential customers, bringing it down slightly between 17 to 21 cents per kilowatt hours. The adjustment rate will be reflected in July's billing cycle, but for many customers, the damage of this month's budgets is already done. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
The business community also experiencing major impact from the reported climbing electricity rate. The challenge on their end, however, they won't be able to benefit much from the summer rebate. We have our intern Layla Sands with more in this report.
The heat is on, and so are power bills. Residents and business owners across the country are sounding the alarm over sharp increases in their electricity statements, prompting demands for explanation and relief. Opposition leader Michael Pintard is calling for urgency and clarity, while the government is moving to stem the outrage with a summer energy rebate set to take effect next month. In a statement, BPL confirmed that rates did rise in June, citing higher fuel costs and increased usage as the main factors. For many customers, the fuel charge has jumped to over 22 cents per kilowatt hour, a significant increase from last month. The rebate program will drop those very rates slightly to 17.4 and 21.4 cents, with the government covering the difference. Chamber of Commerce Executive Dr. Leo Roll says businesses have already begun reaching out for guidance, and talks with BPL are now underway.
We have received calls, fielded calls from our members relative to surges in BPL bills, and what that does is obviously when there is an impact to the bottom line of an organization, and the impact, as we're speaking about, is a surge in electricity bills, then that cost detracts from the bottom line.
Rule says discussions are in the early stages, but efforts are underway to identify options for relief.
So, I mean, it's initial, right? It's still in the initial stages of the impact or of the spiked bills. So we've just recently been receiving calls to speak with BPL and the execs to see where there can be some measure of support or relief for the business community.
On Eleuthera, local chamber president Thomas Sand says there has been no formal complaints yet, but residents are watching closely.
At this point, I am not aware of any calls that we have received or any comments at this particular point in time.
BPL says it's working to educate customers on energy-saving practices and maintains that a transition to liquefied natural gas set for late 2025 will help bring stability in the long term. Leila Sands, Eyewitness News.
Well, Eyewitness News sought its own responses to the electricity bill frenzy in the form of a poll earlier today. You were asked, have you noticed a change in your electricity bill over the past 2 months? 77% of participants voted yes, it increased significantly. 14% voted yes, it increased slightly. 6% voted no, it stayed about the same. And 3% voted no, it decreased. While more Canada visitors could soon be landing at Lynden Pinling International Airport as Porter Airlines prepares to launch new nonstop flights to Nassau from 3 major cities in Canada this year. It's the fruit of the labor from tourism officials who are still on their aggressive trade mission in the North American country. Devontae Hanna joins me live from Toronto with the latest. Now, Devontae, this is certainly a significant announcement. When exactly can you see this coming on stream?
Well, Janelle, they're coming just in time for the busy winter travel season. The Bahamas is set to receive more direct airlift from Canada. This as Toronto-based Porter Airlines is set to launch 3 new direct flights from 3 different cities right here in Canada. According to the Deputy Prime Minister, Chester Cooper, this is all a part of the government's push to increase tourism spend on the island.
We're expanding airlift. Our partners are very bullish about the Bahamas, and we're excited about what we're seeing as possibilities.
The new daily service out of Toronto begins November 26th with those twice weekly flights from Ottawa to take off on December 13th and December 14th from Hamilton. It adds to the more than 26 direct flights between the Bahamas and Canada.
Serving perhaps already 3-4 destinations: Toronto, Montreal, Calgary. We are adding with Air Canada. Ottawa, we're adding Halifax. Of course, Air Canada is going to Exuma. Sunwing is going to Grand Bahama.
Tourism officials believe the additional routes will bring even more opportunities for Bahamian businesses as more Canadians look to escape the cold and enjoy the warmth of the Bahamas. It's why Cooper saw it important to engage close to 80 journalists during a reception at Hotel X last evening.
But by and large, this is a people business, and certainly personal endorsements from media and advisors is still the way to go, notwithstanding the digital distribution channels that we use. It's important often to have others tell your story.
He says Canadian travelers have shown strong.
What I can tell you is, and let us end on that note, rather than trying to put water on burning ashes.
Meantime, over on Paradise Island, Atlantis Resort, President Audrey Oswald says their summer bookings haven't been as exceptional as years prior, with June already reflecting a dip in revenue.
The occupancy for June, July, and August is a little bit different from prior years. While occupancy for June is very high, the rate that customers are paying for the rooms is down, so that translates to lower overall revenue. July still booking. It looks like it's going to be similar to June. We have a much shorter booking window than we've had experienced in the past. August is uncertain at this point.
Oswald also seeking to shut down speculation of a possible sale of the resort.
I'm not aware of any possible sale at this point in time. We're refinancing our current debt, which is a process we go through probably every 5 to 10 years. That's expected to close sometime this summer.
Moving on to news from the labor front, a union chief isn't staying quiet tonight after he says verbal missiles were aimed at his members during a rally-style meeting on Monday by the country's leader. The union chief seemingly on the defense on an issue that residents believe has gone unchecked for far too long. Our Jose Etienne joining me live in studio to discuss. Jose?
Well, Janelle, Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsley Ferguson is firing back tonight, as you said, taking aim at a sharp rebuke Prime Minister Philip Davis issued to civil servants earlier this week. But Ferguson is calling it one-sided, accusing the Prime Minister of ignoring senior public officials who he says are just as guilty of failing to follow instructions.
If he wishes to rebuke someone, start with the financial secretary.
In the hot seat tonight, Financial Secretary Simon Wilson, Ferguson taking direct aim, saying if the Prime Minister wants to talk about civil servants impeding progress, he should start with his own top brass.
The financial secretary disregarded his instructions and gave them a scale upgrade. And so if we want to start and set examples for the subordinate staff to follow, then let's get those persons who are in top positions following the instructions.
The union's chief pushback comes days after Davis warned that those in the public service who refuse to cooperate could face consequences, a warning he issued during the PLP's East Link-Up as questions mount about the public sector productivity and whether it could affect the party's chances of re-election. But critics say Ferguson may be deflecting, shifting blame in a conversation that's really about improving performance on the ground. Still, Ferguson insists that a blanket rebuke won't work, and he's calling for a more strategic fix.
Would I say that we don't have persons who may be slipping through the cracks? Yes, we do. But there are mechanisms in place, particularly quarterly annual appraisals, that are there to assist people in improving their levels of productivity.
And that's not all. The union president also wants to see the workload spread out more equitably across government departments.
We need the proper complement of staff to achieve these things. And so the lackluster attitude has nothing to do with the small complement that's getting the job done. In my view, these individuals should be commended.
Now, Janelle, detractors argue that Prime Minister Davis's comments may have been more about rallying his base than instituting structural change. Others, though, say it's simply a leader demanding results from those entrusted to serve the Bahamian people. Janelle?
All right, thank you. That was our Jose Etienne live in studio for us. In news from the crime beat, a major drug bust in the Coral Lakes area has led to the arrest of 3 men ages 43, 41, and 31, along with 2 women ages 66 and 44. According to preliminary reports, shortly before 11 a.m., officers executed a search warrant at a residence in the Coral Lakes area with the help of the police canine unit. Authorities uncovered a significant quantity of suspected marijuana hidden inside a vehicle on the property. Further investigations led officers to another residence on Boatswain Hill West linked to one of the suspects. There, police discovered additional suspected marijuana in the kitchen of the home. In total, the drugs seized weighed approximately 42.6 pounds with an estimated street value of $84,000. The operation was carried out by officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit and the Bahamas Customs Department. Meantime, a woman suspect behind a recent murder that left a family reeling has been remanded to prison, but she's claiming that police abused her shortly after surrendering to authorities. Police say 25-year-old Amir Thompson is accused of killing Jared Evans, who was gunned down outside a business establishment just days after his birthday earlier this month. Thompson surrendered herself to police days after an all-points bullet was issued for her arrest. However, her attorney, Ty Pinder Mackey, is alleging that the accused was physically injured by a police corporal. Other allegations revealing that officers at the station violated the victim's rights for 2 days by not having a female officer on duty. Nonetheless, the victim was denied bail and is expected to return to court on October 31st for the presentation of the voluntary bill of indictment. Until then, she will be behind bars at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. And in news from the Senate, Attorney General Ryan Pinder, in his contribution to the budget debate in the Senate, praising ongoing plea deals that have helped the Justice Department to address the long-standing case backlog and other issues within the system. Our Laurencia Smith filed this report.
Attorney General Ryan Pinder reaffirming government's commitment to tackling the massive backlog of court cases, telling senators during his budget contribution in the upper chambers that the Department of Public Prosecution disposed of 165 matters over the last fiscal year. Of that number, 12 ended in convictions, 30 in acquittals, and a significant 66 were resolved through plea agreements. Pinder credited much of the progress to the growing use of plea deals, calling them one of the most effective tools for clearing cases from the system. That despite public criticism that such deals allow accused persons, even in cases deemed heinous, to get off easy.
Complainant from having to relive horrific events at times. But it also saves judicious time and reduces backlogs in the courts. For the last fiscal year, we've concluded 66 plea agreements. We've had a total of 55 nollies.
Pinder also pointed to the delay in the presentation of voluntary bill of indictments, a key contribution to case backlogs.
Move expeditiously before the Supreme Court. For the period of the last fiscal year, a total of 277 VBIs, colleagues can see the statistics on the screen, were prepared, and 303 arraignments were conducted before the Supreme Court.
Meanwhile, the issue of bail remains a national flashpoint, particularly around who should or shouldn't be granted release. Pinder says that his office, along with the DPP and other legal stakeholders, is actively reviewing policy and has begun aggressively appealing bail decisions where warranted.
Successfully had several defendants' bails being revoked and caused their sureties to be deposited in the public treasury relative to the escheatment of bail bonds and the breach of bail conditions. So there are penalties for breaching bail conditions.
And in a major development, the Attorney General announced that within 7 days, a public tender will be released for the demolishment of the Rodney Bain building. That move will make way for the new state-of-the-art Supreme Court complex, a long-awaited upgrade to the judiciary.
We've obtained the certificate of environmental clearance for the demolition of the Rodney Bain building. We've received the demolition permit from the Ministry of Works. We have appointed a project manager to supervise the demolition and the construction of the court complex.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms at eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's top stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We are just getting started in Eyewitness News, but when we come back, Novia Group is leading the Bahamas push toward digital integration. We've got that story coming up. And later, a judge has reinstated 2 suspended nurses union executives. We've got more on that right after this break.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is, by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Yes, I will marry you.
For the juicy, crunchy, irresistible taste of a KFC big deal, some people will do anything. KFC, it's finger licking good.
We're back! Playhouse and Sound Investment presents your Back to the 90s Volume 11, July 12th at Breezers. From Volume 1 to Volume 10, Playhouse brings to you the most anticipated Back to the 90s party at July 12th at Breezers. Party with some of your favorite Playhouse DJs, Big L, AI, Pressure, alongside Extra Large and DJ Tank, with special guest DJs like Tiny. Hosted by yours truly, Joe Cools, and my brother, DJ Bravo. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Rock the night away with Reggie Stepper, performing live, Kimbo King, modeling, and so much more. Early bird tickets are limited. Get yours today. Tickets available, cash and go, Tropics, On the Bay, and any of your favorite Playhouse DJs. For tables or Skybox, contacts 819-2900. Playhouse, Back to the 90s, sponsored by Sound Investment, Guinness, Hennessy, Paradise Games, Tropics on the Bay, Cash and Go, and Alive.
Adventure starts here. Unlock new experiences with just a swipe. Download the all-new Karibo app. From cars to boats, jet skis to ATVs, whatever fuels your thrill, it's all in one app. Swipe, discover, conquer. Your next epic moment is just a click away. Whether you're hunting for your next ride or listing your own. Wherever your journey takes you, Karibo is your passport to the adventure of a lifetime. Discover paradise, one rental at a time. Adventure is calling. Will you answer?
Win a brand new 2026 GAC MPOW every week for 5 weeks. Every 10 reward points earns you 1 digital entry. The more entries you gain, the better your chances to win. 5 weeks, 5 cars. Will you be one of our lucky winners? Catch the keys today, only at Island Luck. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so game responsibly.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors. It's your last chance to get behind the wheel and drive the evolution. Secure the Toyota BZ4X, Mercedes-Benz EQB 260, Carry Cargo Van, or Carry Elephant X7 truck, with prices starting as low as $309.88 per month. Hurry, before they're gone. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. Esso gas station at $5.39, Shell gas station at $5.46, and Rubis the highest at $5.48 per gallon. This is Eyewitness News, and welcome back. The United States government has implemented a new requirement for student and exchange visa applicants effective immediately. Individuals applying for F, M, or J non-migrant visas must make their social media accounts public as part of the application process. Applicants are now required to list all social media platforms they have used over the past 5 years, including usernames or handles. Passwords will not be requested, but U.S. officials warn that failure to provide accurate or complete information could impact visa approval. The United States Department of State says the move is aimed at strengthening national security. Social media, according to officials, has become a critical tool in the vetting process, and publicly available online activity will now be reviewed as part of each visa determination. Meantime, could it be a subtle rebuke that was voiced by Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell on a United States policy that restricts international students from studying in the United States? It's a question critics raised tonight, days after the minister urged the University of the Bahamas to rise to the occasion as Bahamian students' dreams of matriculating in the United States could be in limbo. This as U.S. President Donald Trump has had public confrontations with acclaimed universities like Harvard, leaving a Bahamian student there concerned about his time at the institution. Nonetheless, with rigorous social media vetting expected for potential student visa holders, Mitchell's message remains the same.
The Progressive Liberal Party is for education and training. We must train our young. This is crucial because you see that some countries that had their doors open to our students are now closing doors in their faces. So more than ever, the University of the Bahamas has to step up to the plate. And who started the University of the Bahamas? The Progressive Liberal Party.
And in news from the labor front tonight, 2 suspended executives in the Bahamas Nurses Union being reinstated even as tensions between them and Union President Muriel Lightbourne drag on. That decision being handed down by a Supreme Court judge who also rejected a request by the Secretary General, the first Vice President, and other union members who wanted Lightbourne forcibly removed as union chief. Now, this comes amid months of apparent infighting in the Nurses Union that boiled over in the media. Lightbourne's opposers accuse her of violating the union's constitution, forcing them to turn to the courts for a favorable resolution. Now, the reinstatement of the executives is sparking concerns on whether they would be able to work harmoniously with the president. Lightbourne telling Eyewitness News that she's hoping tensions will subside as there is lots of work to do.
The judge would have made a ruling, and so I would have to abide by a ruling. I have been working amidst all of the contention that was before, even before it going into the social media. I have been working, and so it doesn't move me any much. We have a lot of things that we have to do. We have our industrial agreement coming up. I need to get on that. We would have, in our AGM, we would have passed some resolutions and looking at trying to get a property for the union. We've been sitting in this building or renting a building for 25 years. I don't have time to be back and forth with little small issues. My thing is, I was elected to serve the nurses in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and I will do that. They have said that they want a building. I am looking at getting a building for the nurses. We have an industrial agreement coming up. I am looking at working on getting that industrial agreement and getting the best conditions for our nurses.
Meantime, Secretary General Siobhan Brennan also speaking out, insisting that the judge's decision confronts constitutional violations that negatively impacted her and the first vice president. When asked, though, if the duo are willing to put their differences aside to collaborate with Lightbourne, here's what Brennan had to say.
The suspension has been removed because it was unconstitutionally applied to both of the executives of the board. We have taken the stance that this is not our individual union. This belongs to the 1,200 plus nurses that are members, which means we have to continue to do our work until we go into elections. Therefore, the Constitution allows for us to put checks and balances in place. We haven't had those, but that's because we weren't following the Constitution, but now that we are, resolutions will be made and we will be governed by those resolutions for us to move forward. One of the things that we need to work on is our industrial agreement. So, of course, we're going to have to work as a cohesive unit, and Ms. Lightbourne is going to have to put her differences aside that she has towards me and work on getting an agreement that is going to benefit the nurses under the public sector.
As tensions escalate between the United States and Iran, former Foreign Affairs Minister and the leader of government business in the upper chamber, Darren Henfield, is warning that the Bahamas could feel the ripple effects. Speaking in the Senate, Henfield painted a sobering picture, saying that any potential war could have serious consequences for the country's economy and trade. He stressed that the Bahamas, though geographically distant, is not immune to global instability, particularly when it comes to fuel prices, shipping routes, and tourism.
Saturday, we learned that the United States joined the war in the Middle East by striking what it deemed strategic sites in Iran. If not stopped, a protracted war in the Middle East will have negative implications for oil and shipping costs. Just now that we are becoming used to, in the economies of the world, to what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, we find ourselves on the brink of another event. We hope that talks for ceasefire will materialize, because we've also heard talks that the Iranians will close the Straits of Hormuz. And we know if that happens, then oil shipments from the region will be in peril.
On to news from the tech world. As the Bahamas accelerates toward full digital integration, one company is already leading the charge with a bold mission to safeguard the nation's data and modernize how records are stored. Novio Group is building a digital future, starting with a platform they call Docu Island. Our Delano Roker has the details.
With a client base that spans more than 100 clients across the Bahamas and Canada, the digital transformation agency Novio Group is making major strides in reshaping how institutions manage information. Managing partner Valdez Williams notes that digital integration is well underway, with their flagship project, Docu Island, having already digitalized over 1 million records to date.
We were contracted to digitize some file rooms for them, for the nursing council, for nursing records, and then we would have moved over into the nursing council, where we would digitize records from 2024 backward to 1972, and so that was a sum of 600,000 pages of documents to be scanned, and so now every nurse that has passed through the nursing council system is now in a digital format.
Docu Island offers a secure cloud-based vault for the nation's most critical information. And as the Bahamas confronts climate threats, the push to safeguard physical records has become urgent.
Companies who may have, there may be a possible leak within their file room, they can now call us and say, hey, I want you to digitalize this filing cabinet for us quickly before a storm comes. And now we can come in, but within 48 hours, we prioritize those key records or files. And once you prioritize those, we grab those, scan those, whether on-site or off-site, and you now have records within your hand, whether on a USB or sent to your Dropbox or Google Drive.
Novio Group says thousands of documents can be scanned, encrypted, and indexed each day, allowing agencies to transform their operations at an accelerated rate.
Let me depends, and so we have a small scale we go by, and so at 5,000 pages, that's roughly 7 days. At 15,000, 20,000, that's roughly 14 days. And then at 100,000 pages, you're roughly gauging around 40 to 35 days.
Docu Island is also about accessibility. Companies can customize who sees the data.
If someone is in engineering, they will only be able to see engineering documents. If someone is in finance, they can only see finance documents and finance records.
Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
A collaboration between the Princess Margaret Hospital and the Public Hospitals Authority, bringing some groundbreaking relief to those individuals that may need eye care. According to officials in country, they are experiencing troubles with their sight and are unable to meet the fees of the basic resources to assist them. At the Soldier Road Eye Care Center, Managing Director of the PHA, Dr. Aubinet Roll, and Minister of Health, Dr. Michael Darville, praised the initiative, noting it's been a long time in the making.
Truly a milestone in enhancing healthcare services in our public health system. The launch of this collaboration between the PHA and Imperial Optical marks a significant and deeply appreciated step towards addressing one of the long-standing challenges in our public health system, access to timely, affordable eye care.
Especially for the thousands of Bahamians who depend on our public health care system to access eyewear and to get eye services. Together with private sector groups, we can accomplish great things in our country. Patient can now leave this facility after seeing the optometrist with eyewear and get on with their lives. Very important for everyone to have work, to be able to function effectively, to drive, and to get on with their day-to-day activities.
Optometrist at Imperial Optical, Dr. Richard Knowles, emphasizing that the work done by staffers will be voluntary and medical personnel are hopeful their assistance will lift the burden off of the public sector.
At Imperial Optical, we are deeply committed to addressing the challenges faced in delivering public eye care services. Through this partnership, we have taken meaningful steps by establishing this online dispensary at Eye Care Center. This facility ensures that the public patients can fill their prescriptions and access affordable eye care immediately after their appointment, reducing delays and alleviating strain on the system while improving the outcome for those relying on public services. We have also committed to providing our volunteer optometrists support the Eye Care Center services. This approach decreases, again, like was mentioned before, wait time and facilitate more efficiency in service and treatment.
And still to come in Eyewitness News, Atlantis developing its next generation of leaders through a new leadership initiative, Rising Leaders. That's coming up, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
At Connet Bahamas, we are excited to share our latest arrival of Mosaic tiles. We are currently offering an incredible 50% off on a wide selection of our Mosaic tiles. Explore our extensive range of styles and colors to elevate your next project. Take advantage of this seasonal promotion and find the perfect fit for your space today. We are conveniently located in Grand Bahama, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera. Connet Bahamas. Dream, design, deliver.
Make every moment unforgettable with Shop Smart. From colorful floaties and water guns to light vests that keep fun safe. We've got everything you need to dive into the season. Planning a beach picnic? We've got the cutest sets and coolest bubbles to bring the vibes. And don't forget our trendy swimwear for all ages. Summer starts here, only at Shop Smart. Your Miracle, number 122 Market Street.
For over 24 years, Monarchy Motors has provided unsurpassed quality control in the Japan import business. We fly to Japan direct and personally inspect vehicles before bidding in a live auction. All cars are accident-free and professionally inspected before shipping. Once landed, we provide comprehensive maintenance and inspection at our on-site service department. That's how we're able to provide a 3-month warranty and in-house financing on all cars. So visit Monarchy Motors. We're on Shirley Street and Village Road intersection.
In 2010, a grant helped Bahamas Striping Group of companies get started. Today, that seed has grown into a national force, building roads, airports, and brighter futures. Now, we're leading the way through public-private partnerships, what we call 3Ps, where government vision meets private sector innovation. 3Ps empowers local subcontractors, giving them the chance to bid. And with every contract, we're putting money directly into communities, creating jobs, supporting families, and fueling growth. From roads in Eleuthera to community centers in the inner city. We're not just laying asphalt, we're laying foundations for financial opportunity. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we believe in building more than infrastructure. We're building up Bahamians who build the Bahamas. 3 Ps: public-private partnerships for people, progress, and prosperity.
Call it grace, 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 grace brought you here. Nassau, Bahamas. It's your boy Kevin Downswell. I am coming. I can't wait to see you for Praise Break 2025 right there in Nassau on August 9th. Oh my God, it's going to be incredible. This is gonna be my year. Oh, 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 oh. This is gonna be my year. You guys have no idea what we have in store for you.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. At the Atlantis Resort, it's not just about delivering world-class experiences to guests. It's also about empowering the next generation of leaders within the organization. Today, the resort celebrated the achievements of the first Rising Leaders Cohort, a groundbreaking program aimed at cultivating the talents of the resort's most promising employees. Our Delano Roker has the details.
The program was pitched 2 years ago. Now today, Atlantis Resort has officially graduated its inaugural Rising Leaders Cohort. The 10-week leadership development program, which saw 39 graduates selected from an overwhelming 400 applicants, has paved the way for a new generation of leaders within the resort. President of the Atlantis Resort, Audrey Oswell, says these individuals have shown exceptional promise and dedication, all in pursuit of a more dynamic and inclusive leadership culture.
They spent a lot of hours while they were holding down their day jobs and learned more about leadership, learned more about our business on a broader basis, and today they graduated, and you can hear the celebration in the background. It's a really exciting time for all of us.
The program was designed with a clear focus on developing leadership qualities and skills among frontline employees. Athena Russell, Director of Learning and Development at Atlantis, and Vice President of Learning Lawrence Taylor shared the vision behind the transformative initiative.
So our vision is always about succession in terms of making sure that there's growth opportunities for all of our team members here at Atlantis. We want to make sure that we continue to stay above board, stay current, stay trending, and make sure that our bench strength is what we're looking for in the hospitality industry here in this country.
Yeah. Listen, we're so excited at what we've seen with them. We've seen them grow and develop to widen the aperture of what is possible for their careers. And I couldn't be more excited for them. And they have all jumped in head first to really complete this program and give it their all. And so we do appreciate them.
For the graduates of the first cohort, the lessons learned have already begun to make a difference in their work and personal lives. Many of them expressed gratitude for the program, reflecting on how it has changed their approach to leadership.
It has been a phenomenal journey. This cohort has literally given us the blueprint to actually go out and pour into others to impact my team. It allows us to pivot with purpose, especially in a time like this.
This program was enlightening. It allowed us to shine in a different way on property. Atlantis is huge. And for us to be given a platform for us to showcase our skills, showcase our talents, network with the different departmental areas, and bridge those connections into projects, it was remarkable.
When I first joined this the cohort, I was always a very shy, nervous person.
And because of the 12-week program, it prepared me for this.
Vice President of Human Resources, Tamika Forbes, says the success of the first cohort has already led to plans for an expanded program, with demand already rising for the next round. Atlantis is committed to continuing to provide opportunities for employees to grow and thrive.
Well, the next cohort is a secret right now. However, the intent is to make sure that we make the selection before the end of the third quarter, and we start the program in the fourth quarter for the next group of rising leaders.
Talana Roker, Eyewitness News.
Still to come in Eyewitness News, our Laurencia Smith has the latest in sports. Laurencia?
Good evening, Janelle. Well, we're inching closer to the big dance, the NBA draft. But first, we're going to take a look at the rich history between the league and the 242. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
You again today? Yes, ma'am, Miss Villa. It's me again, but not for another household expenditure survey. As promised, your $70 voucher.
Money never come too late. Here I come. I'm girl.
Smell, I just want to take the time out to thank you for your willingness, for your participation in this household expenditure survey.
It was my pleasure. I'm going to take my gift certificate. I'm going to buy my fruits and vegetables. Thank you, Jesus.
Everything that you share with BNSI stays private by law. We don't name names. We just count what matters. All that we ask is that you be honest. Finish the survey so we can truly represent our communities.
Complete your household expenditure survey and receive your $70 food or gas voucher.
Why did we decide to put together our country's first nationwide comprehensive energy reforms? We knew that there were no easy answers. BPL was more than $500 million in debt when we came in, operating a failed electricity grid with key components on the verge of collapse. A grid incapable of transmitting solar energy. Changing all of this is a huge project, one that is finally underway. The sky-high bills, the chronic power outages, they've hurt Bahamian families and Bahamian businesses. We are going to leave all of that in the past. We are taking it all on, and transforming energy is going to transform our economy. Go online now to learn more.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Topping sports tonight. For the 8th time in history, the Bahamas will have one of its very own heading to the big leagues. The NBA in the Bahamas has a connection that runs deep. For nearly 50 years, this relationship has been defined by talent, determination, and a shared passion for the game of basketball. From the courts of the Bahamas to the bright lights of the NBA, Bahamian players have risen to the occasion, 7 of them drafted into the league over the years. Among them, 2 have stood out as the very best of their class. Michael Thompson, the trailblazer, who made history as the #1 overall pick in 1978, a privilege he says that he doesn't take for granted.
It wasn't about me. I was going to be representing the Bahamas and the hundreds of thousands of people who lived there. So I knew I had a big responsibility on my shoulders, not only for myself and my family, but for my whole country. I was going to represent the country and be the first one to be able to do that. Man, that was a great honor and a privilege.
40 years later, the big man himself, DeAndre Ayton, followed in his footsteps, going first overall in 2018. And now another Bahamian star is set to join the NBA ranks. That's VJ Edgecombe, the son of Bimini, widely regarded as one of the best athletes in his class, praised for his competitive nature, projected to be a top 5 pick in the 2025 NBA draft.
Not just to make it, but to stay in the NBA, to be honest. That's the main thing for me, feeding my family and taking care of my parents, retiring my mom and everything. So that's the ultimate goal for me.
That would place him even higher than sharpshooter His Excellency Buddy Hield, who went 6th overall in 2016, and Kai Jones, who was selected 19th in 2021. As Edgecombe prepares to write the next chapter in the 242's growing NBA story, he's building on the path paved in championship glory. 2 rings from Thompson during the Showtime Lakers era, and 3 more from His Excellency Rick Fox, the 24th overall pick in 1991, who claimed titles alongside Shaq and Kobe during the Lakers' early 2000 dynasty. Despite going undrafted, Ian Lockhart and Dexter Cambridge made their presence felt in the league in the early 90s. And what would our NBA story be without Eric Gordon, who traded the U.S. jersey for the Bahamas jersey, choosing heritage over history? Or Klay Thompson, the son of Sweet Bells, earning championship rings with the Golden State Warriors, but the pride of the 242 never far behind. And now, as it stands, Hield says with pride, Edgecombe is the blueprint, the foundation for the Bahamas' next act within the NBA.
VJ's the next one, and after that, somebody else is going to be after him. So we hope more, just keep on inspiring. He can inspire more to follow in the footsteps, because I feel like he's the one that can make it to the top.
The legacy between the 242 and the NBA runs deep. More than the hardwood, it's built on love, passion, and hard work. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Throughout history, from bartering in ancient markets to the invention of paper currency, convenience has been at the heart of the way we pay. As time marched on, so have we, from barter to cash and cash to digital. Whether you pay with an online bank transfer, digital wallet, or contactless card, with digital payments, options abound. The world never stops evolving, and neither should you. Choose freedom, choose flexibility, choose convenience. The future of pay is digital. Visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media.
I want Bahama Grill when I get hungry. Call us at 356-4745. Barbecue pork ribs or baby back and the beef brisket. You got to try that. Add mac and cheese, potato salad, plantain and rice. I go too. Call 356-4745. I want Bahama Grill, morning, noon, or night. Donkey Kong Costco, grill or fry some soup and snapper. Fresh veg, green salad, even roast corn. Once you visit Bahama Grill, you want to come back.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance management. Nobody does it better.
You again today?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Villa. It's me again, but not for another household expenditure survey. As promised, your $70 voucher.
Money never come too late. Here I come. I'm girl.
Smell, I just want to take the time out to thank you for your willingness, for your participation in this household expenditure survey.
It was my pleasure. I'm going to take my gift certificate. I'm going to buy my fruits and vegetables. Thank you, Jesus.
Everything that you share with BNSI stays private by law. We don't name names, we just count what matters. All that we ask is that you be honest. Finish the survey so we can truly represent our communities.
Complete your household expenditure survey and receive your $70 food or gas voucher.
Join us on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head to head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, C.W. Sawyer Primary School battles Uriah McPhee Primary School. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Coming up in Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, more on today's top stories. That's coming up in the Beyond the Headlines that starts right after this. And that does it for us at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. Once again, I'm Janelle Longley, and on behalf of the entire news team, good night.
A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. 10th grader Zante Ferguson will tell you that she's proven that statement by the late Colin Powell to be true after she obtained 12 A's in her BJC examinations as a student of H.O. Nash Junior High School in 2023. She tells us what those stellar results mean to her.
Receiving those results meant everything to me. Most importantly, it meant that all those restless nights and the times I didn't get to see my friends, the times I had to put my phone down, that they were not in vain, and that I can accomplish what I put my mind to when I work hard.
Zante now attends Queens College, where she continues to do exceptionally well. Meantime, she talks a bit about what went into the success of her national examinations.
Lots of preparation and definitely support from my teachers and administrators. They constantly checked in on me, asking if I was doing okay, and also being real with myself. I knew that the challenge was going to be a lot. It was going to be overwhelming at times. I didn't allow myself to think that it was going to be easy. That a lot of that went into it as well. And knowing that I was not alone, that there were many students that were going to sit these exams with me, and I'm no different than them.
And she offers these words of advice to other students.
I would tell them to not let anyone's doubts and their fears be projected onto you. You can do anything you put your mind to, and at the end of the day, it's one pen and one paper, and you're going to be the one holding that. So you need to do what you have to do.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
measles is on the rise around the world and the Bahamas is at risk.
Which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. 10th grader Zante Ferguson will tell you that she's proven that statement by the late Colin Powell to be true after she obtained 12 A's in her BJC examinations as a student of H.O. Nash Junior High School in 2023. She tells us what those stellar results mean to her.
Receiving those results meant everything to me. Most importantly, it meant that all those restless nights and the times I didn't get to see my friends, the times I had to put my phone down, that they were not in vain, and that I can accomplish what I put my mind to when I work hard.
Zante now attends Queens College, where she continues to do exceptionally well. Meantime, she talks a bit about what went into the success of her national examinations.
Lots of preparation and definitely support from my teachers and administrators. They constantly checked in on me, asking if I was doing okay, and also being real with myself. I knew that the challenge was going to be a lot. It was going to be overwhelming at times. I didn't allow myself to think that it was going to be easy. That a lot of that went into it as well. And knowing that I was not alone, that there were many students that were going to sit these exams with me, and I'm no different than them.
And she offers these words of advice to other students.
I would tell them to not let anyone's doubts and their fears be projected onto you. You can do anything you put your mind to, and at the end of the day, it's one pen and one paper, and you're going to be the one holding that. So you need to do what you have to do.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, Bahamian students hoping to travel to the United States for university this fall, breathing a sigh of relief after the U.S. lifts a student visa ban. We have one young man's response. Prime Minister Davis standing on business tonight. He's fired a senior official in the Ministry of Works for what's been termed blocking progress. Tonight, did the Prime Minister go too far, or is this the kind of action the public service needs to better and more efficiently serve the Bahamian people? We talk about it. The Free National Movement preparing to launch its first group of candidates tomorrow evening. But get this, Long Island, an F&M stronghold, seems to be rethinking its position on the PLP. It's all straight ahead tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. The United States has implemented a new requirement for students and exchange visa applicants. Effective immediately, individuals applying for F, M, or J non-immigrant visas must make their social media effective immediately. Individuals applying for F, M visas must make their social media accounts. Applicants are now required to list all social media have used over the past 5 years, including usernames or handles. Passwords will not be required, though. But U.S. officials warn that failure to provide accurate or complete information could impact your visa approval. The United States State Department says this move is aimed at strengthening national security. U.S. officials say social media, has become a critical tool in vetting the applicants, and publicly available online activity will now be reviewed as part of each visa determination. This issue has had many Bahamian students and their parents on edge, as you can imagine. Well, tonight we hear firsthand how the lifting of the ban is impacting soon-to-be and those already enrolled students needing to renew their visas just in time for the fall semester. Joining me this evening is Aaron Jones. Aaron, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining me here on Beyond the Headlines. Aaron, you, like thousands of other Bahamians, were quite nervous for a while. Describe your feelings on hearing that this student visa ban has been lifted.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. It was definitely a big concern. I was definitely worried when I heard the news that President Trump had banned the application process. You could not apply, you could not carry out the process to receive visas. Not only me, but many students, from school, students who had been to UB this year and last year, now they plan to go off internationally this year. Their plans have been ruined. They were definitely truly afraid. I mean, this one brought a big shockwave through the Bahamas, through the youth communities, through the education systems, our teachers and administrators. It definitely was a big fail.
What were you thinking? What went through your thoughts? Because I know, we spoke about this before. So many parents and persons like you going to school for the first time and those needing renewal of visas were obviously thinking, well, what's next? Or where do I turn? What do I do now?
Right. In that moment, me specifically, I always think about the plan B. So although I planned to, further my education, further my studies in the USA, the minute I heard about this ban of visa issuing, I turned to Canada. I started to send applications out in Canada. In the UK as well, in London, I began to send out applications in London. And then, of course, I had to also send a second application to UB. Just to ensure my overall security. And I told many students, many people I know, apply to UB, apply to schools in the UK, apply to schools in Canada, where you would not need to have, those rigorous visa processes.
Yes. Now, of course, a new requirement, you heard me at the top just a moment ago, for the student visa or any type visa that I mentioned, in order for you to be approved, the U.S. State Department must have access to your social media account. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. Well, I tell young people so many times and so often, be careful what you post, mind what you post. And now they're throwing this curveball where you would literally need to give them, an outlook of how you are, on the media. So of course, I read a post from the chambers that said they would not be asking for passwords. But like you said, they'll be asking for usernames within the last 5 years. So they're going to see what you were tagged in. They're going to see what you liked. They're going to see what you posted. And definitely it has a big effect. I'm just hoping that, our students were conservative on social media. If you're like me, you only post certain things, you only allow certain things to be, shown to the outside world. And I just pray that many of our students also followed, that mindset.
I absolutely agree with you right there. It teaches all of us. I mean, whether you want to go to university, whether you're looking for the next job, locally or abroad, that this is now what employers and obviously an entire government and country, this is what they're doing. They are looking at your social media footprint. Let's talk about, do you feel safer though on the flip side of this? Because we heard that this is a part of their whole national security crackdown. Do you feel safer headed to the United States this fall, that they have added this level of scrutiny to those who would be granted visas?
Definitely, because what this allows is for proper screening to be done. Now, of course, me being on the other side of the table at first, I said, man, why are you doing this? He doesn't need to be doing this. Why are you doing all this nonsense? But now that it's working in our favor again, I got to be realistic and say that it does allow me to feel a bit more secure as it relates to security reasons, because through them doing this, through them checking social media, through them doing deeper screenings and deeper searches, they're able to kind of have a control and put a lid on top of what kind of students you'll be sleeping in dorms with, students you'll be living on campus with, students you'll be share classrooms with. Are these students potentially terrorists? Are these students related to terrorist affiliates? Are they related to certain, democratic groups and different stuff like that? So I believe now definitely that it does enhance security. It enhances our safety. And for Bahamians specifically, I do think that it'll be a better output after screening students and screening personnel to make sure that we're in the right environments with the right kind of people.
And keep Bahamians, and every student, but Bahamians in this instance, on the straight and narrow. You don't need to go there and get buck wild. Which state are you headed to?
I'm going to Lexington in Kentucky.
Oh, okay, awesome. Very proud of you, Aaron. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us here on Beyond the Headlines. I know that you have your interview coming up soon for your visa, and good luck with that. But I'm happy. I'm happy for you and many others that this ban has been lifted. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you. You take care as well. Well, I'll tell you this. Of course, the Hot Topics panel has a whole lot of thoughts on this and a whole lot more, because we're going to really get into some stuff. But we're going to start right there this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, our BTH contributors, Peggy Candace and Garth Rosborough. Good evening to both of you, and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having me, Shani.
Well, good evening. Good evening. I see everyone is looking beautifully blue.
I know, right? It's like, how did this happen? But listen, it looks good on camera, right? Your response to this, you heard Aaron right there, quite a sharp, very focused young man, headed off to university this fall, quite happy. He is just really the voice of thousands of students and their families, their parents, who are so happy and celebrate. But your thoughts about such a strict move, really, that the U.S. imposed just abruptly?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Bahamas. Congratulations to the young man. He sounds so mature and focused, which is needed. I think the enhanced security message is essential because the time also that America is facing, the immigration approach that Donald Trump took immediately after being sworn into office, and the fact that they bomb another country. All of this is essential to protect who is entering in the United States of America. And if you were to be so blessed to pass the scrutiny, it will speak to your character that you pass social media. I know some people like to look at your email address, and it tells them who you are, who they're allowing in their country. And I think it is necessary because of the times we're in.
Yeah, America has had its challenges. I do recall one time I was visiting, and I recognized that some 6,000 people were crossing the border illegally in El Paso, Texas. And when you look at the whole fabric of the economy of North America, it is actually the foreign individuals that are now taking over the job market. But then this threat now comes in along with those people who are crossing these borders. They've had people all the way from Haiti, going to Mexico, coming into America, people coming from South America, coming into America. And then they've had people from across the globe with the use of the F1 visa, which is a student visa, coming into America and causing mischief. And so right now, America's exhausting every avenue possible in order to just go ahead and alleviate the concerns of any foreign disaster happening in terms of people entering the country. we here in the Bahamas, yes, we are a safe country, but of course we're also open waters as well. So for our students, this is good for them in that you're now going to a safer country. It's not totally safe, but it is safer. And I think the Bahamas can learn something from this, that we need to take our own immigration extremely seriously. America is doing it. The world is doing it. Bahamas, it's time for us to take immigration into control and go ahead and vet the people that come into our country.
Absolutely. I mean, every nation is now sort of doubling down on its own sovereignty. And the United States is no different. People say, oh, but this is the U.S. Everybody has a right to be. No, they have a right to guard their borders, safeguard their people, and even those who visit lawfully, legally, and abiding by rules. And so it's good. I'm happy again for students that they can now either continue their education or, like Aaron, go for the first time. That's really awesome. But listen, Peggy and Garth, speaking of breathing a sigh of relief, another thing that we all were watching on pins and needles recently and nervous about is the war, and boy, to hear the Democrats tell it, World War III was a minute away, but a ceasefire has now been declared between Israel and Iran. Of course, we know there's very, very strong measures President Trump took, but we're not here to discuss that. We're talking about the fact that what was really being threatened, an increase in fuel almost immediately, and we knew what that meant. Just exacerbating already inflation and the cost of living.
Yes. Shanique, I am glad to hear this news. People were very concerned, and as they should be. And despite what is trying to be made of Donald Trump, he is focused. He has a plan. He's sticking to the plan. He makes demands, he sticks to his guns, and not only protect America, but we are also benefiting from those strong measures. People were talking, oh, price of this going up and the price of that, if the price of gas go up, and just panic. And so tonight I'm very grateful to hear of the ceasefire, and it brings a sense of relief with those concerns.
Well, I join you in those sentiments. Very well said. Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, you all, because you even got nervous because if this got out of control, and you can buy into the narratives on social media or even on the news about World War III and this escalating. So we are happy that it's been de-escalated, and we just pray that peace talks follow and that this, we know about that part of the world was going. Listen, from the days of who? From the days
from the beginning, right?
From that part, the book of Genesis. I tell you why. But again, we're happy that this is what it is. Now, you all speaking. We think Trump is saying that he is a strong leader and all this. It was just Monday at a PLP event that Prime Minister Davis says, "Listen, public service, get it together.
Yes.
Get it together because you will not stand in the way of progress." Well, this was released today. That Prime Minister Davis has fired a senior official at the Ministry of Works over missed deadlines, and so here it is, just a brief excerpt. Prime Minister Davis has fired a senior official at the Ministry of Works after weeks of frustration over delays in government projects. So obviously there seems more than one, signaling a zero-tolerance approach for bureaucratic holdups in his administration. It goes on to say, the message is clear. If you are blocking progress, brave will move you. Your thoughts about that, guys? Is it too strong arm, or is it like wait a minute, about time?
No, it's about time. For many years, Bahamians have been complaining about poor service, phones not being answered, calls not being returned, applications sitting on people's desks that prevents progress for individuals. And I was there on Monday night, and I sat and I listened to the Prime Minister's speech, and he came off as like he have a new focus. And there is something, public servants and their unions always making demand for more, benefit, more money. We want great service for our money. And people say, oh, because of this and because of that. No matter what the motivation is, it is going to happen. It is happening. He told the story of the gentleman who was fired, and he said this is the stance he's taking moving forward. And I hope this position makes public servants to tighten up their belts and be committed to good customer service, to be committed to carrying out the jobs that they are paid for, the jobs that they want increase for. And we as a people will be better offered. We as a nation will make even if an inch progress, it would be progress.
I'm sitting here. I thought I heard Peggy said she was there.
I was there.
Oh, you was there? oh, Peggy, you was there?
Yes, I was there.
Oh, man, that had me kind of a little taken back. I said Peggy was there.
Well, we even won't go there yet because I could ask her what was she doing there.
Yeah.
But I just want you first to respond to this public service thing, and believe me, I promise you, I will ask her that question.
I just say what she said sound good, and I still back to you was there for true. But anyhow, I'll follow the rules.
I promise you, I will ask her.
But definitely this stance has to take place. I've been saying this for years. If you're going to move this country from being the in-token banana republic that people have said that we are, we got to go to work. You know that I'm a human resources major. I'm all about profitability. I'm all about progress. Do your job. If you do not want to do your job, go home. Go home. I've been also a victim in terms of, like every other Bahamian, getting things done. You want to make applications, and they turn you around and around all day. I mean, come on, people. It's time for us to get past that particular part of our culture. Let us be serious about the business of the people, and let's move the country forward.
I absolutely agree. Meanwhile, though, listen.
She was there.
Well, Garth, I will ask if she's there. Believe me, I did. I promise you.
Something else.
Because I had no intention. What she doing on her private time? It's her private time. I had no intention, but we are getting to politics right after the break. Let me just get to this right here, right? You're mischievous. We'll get to politics after the break. But listen, you all, President of the Bahamas Public Services Union, Kingsley Ferguson, is not agreeing with this. He says, listen, hold up, like how dare you threaten it? This is what he's saying. You are firing missiles at his members. He says, he speaks more about this. However, many residents, though, Kingsley, you may have a little uphill battle here because residents are saying, man, it's about time. Yes. We get this story from Jose Etienne, and then we come back and give opinions.
If he wishes to rebuke someone, start with the financial secretary.
In the hot seat tonight, Financial Secretary Simon Wilson, Ferguson taking direct aim, saying if the Prime Minister wants to talk about civil servants impeding progress, he should start with his own top brass.
The financial secretary disregarded his instructions and gave them a scale upgrade. And so if we want to start and set examples for the subordinate staff to follow, then let's get those persons who are in top positions following the instructions.
The union's chief pushback comes days after Davis warned that those in the public service who refuse to cooperate could face consequences, a warning he issued during the PLP's East Link-Up as questions mount about the public sector productivity and whether it could affect the party's chances of re-election. But critics say Ferguson may be deflecting, shifting blame in a conversation that's really about improving performance on the ground. Still, Ferguson insists that a blanket rebuke won't work, and he's calling for a more strategic fix.
Would I say that we don't have persons who may be slipping through the cracks? Yes, we do. But there are mechanisms in place, particularly quarterly annual appraisals, that are there to assist people in improving their levels of productivity.
And that's not all. The union president also wants to see the workload spread out more equitably across government departments.
We need the proper complement of staff to achieve these things. And so the lackluster attitude has nothing to do with the small complement that's getting the job done. In my view, these individuals should be commended.
So did the president of the union say the lackluster output or attitude or work is nothing to do with the small amount who is getting it? We know that Kingsley Ferguson, there always is an element who is working, showing up on time, and very productive, efficient, professional, but they are so overshadowed by everybody who giving you to run around all around the Bahamas to get one thing done. What is it that you will have to say? I see Justin is telling me it's time for a break. You will respond to this. Well, quickly respond, because I want to shift gears after the break.
I don't agree with the President of the Union. As you stand up to make demands of the government for your members, you should also say, give good service for what I'm demanding. It must be a fair exchange. So I don't think you should be disagreeing to disagree. If there's good, if there's improvement, if there's progress in the decision of the leader of the country, why not stand and say, let's do this because it will make our country better. Let's give better service. And then you will give me a tool to fight with if you're producing. And I think he needs to review his approach and encourage his staff, his members, to put out excellence. This country needs to be a country of excellence at every level.
This would be a window of opportunity for the president to sit with the prime minister and begin to iron some of these things out. You cannot, like you say, just argue just for the sake that you're the president. It's expected of you to defend. Though there's a time when a leader must lead, even if it's the unpopular thing to do. Now it's the right thing to do.
Beyond the Headlines is back after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go, to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
We're back! Playhouse and Sound Investment presents your Back to the 90s Volume 11, July 12th at Breezers. From Volume 1 to Volume 10, Playhouse brings to you the most anticipated Back to the 90s party yet. July 12th at Breezers. Party with some of your favorite Playhouse DJs, Big L, AI, Pressure, alongside Extra Large and DJ Tank, with special guest DJs Black Tiny, hosted by yours truly, Joe Cools, and my brother, DJ Bravo. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Rock the night away with Reggie Snapper, performing live, Kimbo King, modeling, and so much more. Early bird tickets are limited. Get yours today. Tickets available. Cash and Go, Tropics, On the Bay, and any of your favorite Playhouse DJs. For tables or Skybox, contacts 819-2900. Playhouse, Back to the 90s. Sponsored by Sound Investment, Guinness, Hennessy, Paradise Games, Tropics on the Bay, Cash and Go, and Alive.
Win a brand new 2026 GAC MPOW every week for 5 weeks. Every 10 reward points earns you 1 digital entry. The more entries you gain, the better your chances to win. 5 weeks, 5 cars. Will you be one of our lucky winners? Catch the keys today, only at Island Luck. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so game responsibly.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
That is that.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, here's a question tonight. Could there be a switch in the political trajectory on Long Island? It's a question that may be on the horizon as the island has been deemed a free national movement powerhouse, now sees a number of residents praising the work of the Davis administration. A number of infrastructural upgrades are set to commence on Long Island in the coming weeks. And tonight, we take a closer look at what these developments mean for the community. Linton Ritchie Jr. is following this story.
The chart on the road is that people are happy. These things have been promised for quite a time now, and never has happened.
A new dawn may be on the horizon for residents of Long Island as decades of deteriorating infrastructure, which made everyday life challenging, could finally be coming to an end, and the anticipation for change is high. Chief Counselor for Long Island, Ian Knowles, says many are calling the recent contract signings under the Davis administration, valued at some $20 million, an answer to their prayers. The projects include roadwork rehabilitation, a major waterworks initiative, and a long-awaited upgrade to the airport runway. For years, locals have dreamed of building livelihoods off the island's natural attractions, but say that a lack of access due to the aviation hassles made that nearly impossible. The hope now is that these upgrades will catapult Long Island's economy.
With the airport development, we will see the island develop, Airbnb or hotel or business. Now is the time to start.
Knowles say these basic but critical resources will give Long Islanders the foundation to stand on their own.
Oftentimes, we depend too much on foreign direct investment, and when we as Bahamians could do a lot for ourselves right here on our own islands.
And with several infrastructure upgrades already in the pipeline, there's one more request residents in the South hope will be added.
Cable Bahamas, Alive, and BTC improved their infrastructure with regards to telecommunications.
Have you all, this is something that's been a sort of a rumbling rumor for a minute. And of course, in the news tonight, when I saw that story, I said, wait a minute, is there some legitimacy to this story? And so tonight, we have it here on Beyond the Headlines. Again, welcome back, Peggy and Garth. Listen, when you see that, now Long Island has in the past voted independent. I'm not sure if has Long Island ever voted PLP?
On the first onset, but of course they went to the FNM. But initially, yeah, when they moved from the UBP, yes.
What do you all make of this rumblings, though? And it's not just with the chief counselor there saying, listen, the island is excited and very happy for what the government is doing, but in other quarters and other Long Islanders who have nothing even to do with this bunch, because you brought it to my attention, Garth, I think a couple of weeks ago now, about, listen, here's what's happening, and I kind of just rested to the side. But what do you all make of what the chief counselor is saying about sort of their interest in the administration?
I think people want to see things done in their community. When you say it is a sure seat for a particular group, I think there's a complacency with that group. I think they begin to take you for granted. And so Long Islanders are grateful for what is being done for their island, the improvements, the advancement, and it's only right. If you say, oh, we always this and we always that, what you always not necessarily is in your best interest. And I think Bahamians need to start looking at what is in their best interest, if not on a personal level, on a community level. And if administration is doing things that were promised previously and they're catching up, I think it's a good thing. And I think people need to look at, is this better for us?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the Free National Movement has had 4 opportunities in order to appease the people of Long Island. So when you look at the 92 to 2002, you look at the 2007 to 2012, and the 2017 to 2021, the people of Long Island, independent as they are, they still would like to have a better way of life. And the fact that the Free National Movement have not brought any of these such adjustments or improvements to this particular island that's been crying for this for years. As a matter of fact, I would even go on to say, Dean Blue Hole, which is a world attraction, sits in Long Island, one of the deepest blue holes in the world. People dive it all the time. And yet with such an attraction, Long Island say you have not opened up the doors and windows to allow any sort of revenue stream to come in a strong way because of this attraction. We need all of this infrastructure put in place. We are not lazy people. When it comes to immigration, we got our island on lock.
They have it on lock.
When it comes to agriculture, we got our island on lock. When it comes to fishing, we got our island on lock. We take care of ourselves. However, there is some responsibilities that should have been taken care of. They were neglected, and this particular administration is paying attention to that. I think this is a strong political move from the Progressive Liberal Party, and I think the Free National Movement, you may just actually lose this particular one.
I think they also had a sign-in for the airport in Long Island.
The airport.
That's been important to Long Island
dock,
as well.
The dock, and they want to also bring some banking to the island of Long Island. So, of
Progress.
course, serious progress.
Progress, and I want to tell Bahamians, stop being a sure thing. Make anybody you want to represent you, either locally or nationally, make them earn it. Make them show you how they value you, and by improving your infrastructure, improving the life, which will improve the lives of you and your families.
That's the most important thing right now.
I've also spoken to one Mr. Adderley Shanique.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Adderley. I'm not going to call his first name, but of course I was out last night with him. He's a Long Islander, and he said, he's voted F&M his entire life. He said for the first time in his life, he's now going to vote for the Progressive Liberal Party. There is a shift taking place in Long Island.
In Long Island?
Yes.
Wow, well, that's a strong statement. Well, speaking of that, then let's just go right into this. The Free National Movement will be launching its first grouping of candidates for the upcoming general election, the 2026 general election. That happens tomorrow evening. Of course, we await to see what it is. But you all, who do we need to see? Meaning the sort of type of candidate, the type of person to help this F&M, number one, repair its image, show the Bahamian people that it is a proper alternative to the government, and whatever else it needs to do to help Bahamians start believing again that this Free National Movement party is capable of leading the nation.
I believe the people need to see that it's not a fan club. You're not selecting members who like you best or who favor you, who's in a little clique or a little group. We want to see
There can't be no clique now.
And that's what I'm saying. We want to see people who have a history of national service, whether at the community level, whether at a nation building level. We want to see people who interested in the development of Bahamians did not start the moment they wanted to run for election, that the caring is not a way of getting people to vote for you, that this caring was there before you even imagine yourself in politics. And so it is important that when these individuals are named, that we do a KYC. Know your candidate. You just popping up here. Do you hear what investment have you made in this community? What rock did you lift? What leaf did you rake? What did you do to advance and help the community to develop for the people? And if you have no track record, I don't think you should be considered. And that is why I've been saying this is not selecting members for a baseball team or a basketball team or softball team. You are looking for potential ministers of the government, a minister of health and wellness. You're looking for a replacement for the Minister of Education, and you cannot offer us less than what we have now. And so when we waited long enough, when these individuals are named and they stand up before us, can we look at them and imagine trusting them with our country? Can we look at them and have confidence that we will be safe and that we will receive good governance from these individuals? Or are we going to see people that are liked? That's the question.
Liked?
Liked.
Boy, Shanique, boy, Peggy got a lot of energy tonight. I see why you're going to the rally.
That's
anyhow. But anyhow, Shanique, Shanique going to kill me after the show. I know you're going to get me. But listen. They need the charisma of a Hubert Alexander Ingram. It's a young Hubert Alexander Ingram. That's what they need. The closest person to that who is present at this particular time would be Hubert Alexander Minnis. Because of his strength You got rid of him. And now you left yourself void.
Problematic.
Let me prove it to you. Let me prove it to you, Shanique. Michael Pintard, the leader, honorable leader of the Free National Movement, he is not resonating with the Bahamian national public. Not doing it. The deputy is very well liked.
But Garth, that's a heavy statement to make and just skip along.
And it gets heavier. It gets heavier. Because the deputy is very well liked, but he's squeezed in the middle. The chairman, no one feeling you. No one hearing you. You ain't saying what you're supposed to be saying and doing. So you tried Adrian White. Remember, let's go in history now. You tried Adrian White, and that didn't work out too well for you. You tried Marvin Dames.
When did they try Adrian White?
When he was on that other station, when he had his little interview, he became a spokesperson, one that we didn't see coming, and he quickly went back behind the curtain. Marvin Dames came up from behind the curtain and went quickly back behind the curtain. The Free National Movement has been trying to find somebody who would have that charisma to awaken in the hearts of the Bahamian people to say, you know what, we need to give the Free National Movement an opportunity. So the candidates that they're looking for now have to be people who are going to bring traction to the Free National Movement. Here is your issue. So far, we've not seen any traction from any of your aspirants. We just haven't. I've heard with Philippa Kelly. I like Philippa Kelly. I've heard she has traction in Central and South Eleuthera. I give you credit for that. When it comes to Nassau, look at the F&M Fair. If your aspirants were so strong and so involved in the community and the nation building, why were the people not at R. Bailey Park? Why were they not at the Labor Day parade next to you? Why are they not seen around you like they should be seen around you at this particular time as you prepare for battle? I'm saying to you, Free National people, wake up. You have to find the secret to traction, and so far we have not seen a candidate yet. And when you roll these people out, I hope we don't roll you back up.
So you are saying tomorrow night these candidates that will be introduced must be candidates who grab immediately the attention, who are not strangers to any of us, and also people who are compelling to look at. And I don't mean just aesthetically. I'm talking about this holistic thing
and
that they
you can't bring no old newspaper back to us. We don't want no old news. You got to bring someone who could say something and put some strength behind what they're saying. This is not a game. Because of all of the world crisis going on around the world, people are vigilant. People are concerned. Today, people are off balance. And what they're looking for is, where can I lay my head? Where can I rest my head? You brought me an airport. You brought me a port. You brought me a bank. You're bringing me all these things. You're showing some kind of semblance that you're stable. People are looking for stability. What has the Free National Movement brought us so far? You bring the people in North Eleuthera a bottle of water. We don't want that. We need the water problem fixed. We need the lights fixed. We need some things done. People need jobs. People need education. You got plenty of work to do, but you got to sell it to us. And so far, you've not had a salesman that's been effective to the Bahamian people. You've not had it.
Meanwhile, Peggy, why did you go to? How did you end up at the rally?
I was invited.
And the PLP rally.
I was invited by a PLP friend on my Facebook.
And now you're wearing blue.
I was invited.
Hold on now. Wait a minute. Blue is a neutral color.
It's a beautiful color. And I was invited by a PLP friend, and his timing was perfect because I was doing self-searching.
What self-searching you was doing?
Now we got to talk about that in one of these times.
No, I was doing self-searching, and I'm a Bahamian first. More than just a Bahamian. I am an Eleutherian Bahamian first. And I am not a die-hard anything but Eleuthera Bahamian. So as a Bahamian, you also have to persuade me that you are capable of taking over leadership of this country. This is my country. Like I say, this ain't a basketball team, this ain't a football team. You have to win the confidence of the people, even people who were saying that you can do the job.
But they tell me you're carrying on bad. I went there after the show. You didn't even know I was there. I went there after the show. I took the video. Listen.
Happy people.
I am not going to go to an F&M function and count their people, and don't go to the PLP and count their people. I'm a very fair man in the name of our Lord and Savior, and I'm telling you, I was there, and they said you was carrying on bad.
I was enjoying myself. The thing, after the people got over the initial shock of seeing me, I had seen so much. After they got over that, me and my daughter, we just had
been in shock too.
we just had a wonderful time. It is well organized, And nobody can throw a party like the PLP.
I never saw that coming, Shanique.
I didn't either. You've noticed I went on my own show, I went quiet. Listen, I thank you all though very, very much. Wonderful insight. Again, we will be watching that rollout tomorrow evening. And it's what we need to see, because as you can see, the listen, pressure tall, run, not just the Bahamas. And you've got to be able to do some things. And people are interested in quality of life and improvement, enhancement of their lives. And so it's all very important. And so absolutely, you all very spot on. Thank you very much. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, listen, y'all, this heat wave that's been happening and so much more, we're going to speak with meteorologist Wayne Neely after the break.
The chart on the
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
I was an electrician for 18 years. And one day I just lost my sight and found that I was in a totally new world. I just found this strength that came from nowhere. And here I am today. Even though I am faced with disabilities, the fire in me, it never went out as related to me being an entrepreneur. But the barrier is just people being understanding and willing to take a chance on somebody like myself. My dream is to see where the government can really pass laws, legislation to assist people like myself. And whether you believe it or not, we do have something to offer this country. We have to make people understand that we are here. And not in many cases we're looking for handout. We want to make a contribution. You gotta live. And part of living is that you gotta take charge of your life. And through programs like this with the SBDC, I know for a fact that my business can now come to life.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, let's just move quickly into this segment. It's an important segment, by the way. First of all, I want to get into that heat wave, the warning that was issued from the Ministry of Health and the Department of Meteorology earlier this week. And then, of course, we will get into the hurricane season and what to expect. And I've already told meteorologist Wayne Neely that, listen, no, we praying. We praying like we've been praying since Dorian for mercy and grace, or grace and mercy. Good evening to you, Wayne. It's good to have you here.
Good evening.
Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Wayne, let's talk first about this heat wave. Those temperatures are wild.
Yes, temperatures we've been getting up to 91 degrees Fahrenheit or 33 Celsius, and most of the heat is due to a high pressure ridge that was anchored over the Bahamas, and thankfully now it's moving out of the area now, so you should get some relief now.
Oh, good. And well, everybody, I'll tell you, even people who, you know, you're not always favorable to the rain,
Yes.
but everyone welcomed the rain today.
Yes, definitely. It's a welcome cool down.
Mm-hmm.
And the heat, that we've been having several weeks of just pretty high temperatures, and now we have a relief. We have an upper level trough over here, so that should bring some more rainfall tomorrow as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But listen, I know, right? Listen, Wayne, let's just talk about how we need to be safe during these high temperatures. This is nothing to take lightly and play around with.
Yeah, well, first of all, you always stay hydrated, drink lots of liquids, wear light color clothing, stay out of the direct sunlight during peak hours. That's between 11 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you have to go out, be very mindful of the heat, because you could get heat stroke. It could be dangerous if you go in the hot sun, and so you should be careful when you go on there.
Also, I'll tell you this: you don't have to be light-skinned to wear sunscreen. All of us should wear sunscreen as well. Not that that's an excuse to stay in the sun, but the minute you plan on even just going out of your home, apply some sunscreen.
Yes,
that's important. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, that's important as well. Again, so stay hydrated. Wear a visor if you have to. Anything, and do not walk and exercise mid-morning and in the afternoon and whatnot.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So Wayne, let's look at the hurricane season now. The 2026 hurricane season, of course, we know it officially started June 1st and it ends November 30th. But let's just talk about how does it look?
Well, it's looking to be a very active one once again. This year, we're going for 17 named storms, 9 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes. And I've looked at the sea surface temperatures. They're a bit warm. Fortunately, they're not as warm as they were last year. Last year, it was about 3.1 degrees Celsius. Now it's about 2 degrees Celsius above normal. That doesn't mean anything. And the problem with when I give numbers, I'm very scared, because people look at the numbers and say, look, it's going to be active or an active season, or we're not going to get hit by a hurricane. But we just need one hurricane to hit us.
Man, a tropical storm.
Yes.
So be wise and pay attention. Like don't ever drop your guard.
And unfortunately, thanks to climate change, these hurricanes are becoming much stronger now. They're becoming more active. In other words, they become more moist. You're getting more rainfall from them, so it means you're going to get more flooding. You're having stronger winds, so you're going to get more damage. So we just need one hurricane. So this time, Shanique, if you have something around your house that needs to be repaired, now is the ideal time. People talk about hurricane insurance. You should get your hurricane insurance, because Shanique, we are the most active area in terms of the region for hurricanes.
The Bahamas?
The Bahamas, yes. And we're the only, other than the state of Florida, we're the most active. And we impacted by more hurricanes than any other country in the region, other than the state of Florida. So, and over the years, the last 20 years, we've seen hurricane activity has increased significantly. The average hurricane named storms there were 10 named storms on average, 6 hurricanes and 3 major. Now the average now is 14.4 named storms, 7.2 hurricanes and 3.2 major hurricanes. So it means you're now dealing with more storms. So now is the ideal time to start preparing for storms, because records have shown that those who prepare for hurricanes fare much better than those who don't.
Give us an idea again.
How to prepare. I mean, people like you, every year, you kind of just hammer this message home, but again, remind us, what is it that we need to be doing now?
Well, now, things like trimming trees, get those trees, if your tree is in a power line, you should get that cut, call the professionals to get it cut out of the area. If you have leaky roof, you have windows that need to be repaired, those will become dangerous during a storm, because those will be the first areas that will be weakened by the storm itself. So get those repaired. If you need hurricane insurance, call your local hurricane insurance company, get your hurricane insurance, get you covered. Because I've seen the impact of hurricanes over the years. I've seen, after all the major hurricanes I've traveled to, off the respective family islands, and I've seen in one night a hurricane destroyed 30, 40 years of progress in one building or one car or one business. And so now's the time to stock up on your hurricane insurance. Your canned goods, you don't have to stock, you don't have to wait until the last minute. Go to your supervisor of foods of your choice and stock up on your canned goods. You don't have to you can do it in increments now because it's still early, but you can do those things now and make sure, be vigilant for hurricane, and listen to the warnings presented by the professionals out there, the meteorologists.
I absolutely agree. This is really something. Wayne, Wayne is really an authority, you all, on storms. He is highly sought after by National Geographic and by other networks. Yes. For historic accounts on hurricanes and to help with their coverage on it, and even sort of headed into a season.
Yes, I have 2 documentaries coming out soon. So
oh, really? With who?
Well, I'm going to keep it quiet because we haven't signed the contracts yet.
Wayne is doing the big things internationally. He don't play around much here. But so again, obviously with some international partners. Yes. How many books have you authored?
I've authored 16 books. I have my 17th one coming out in 2 weeks. And looking forward to that. One is going to be on the great Bahamian hurricanes of 1932. That's the year that we had 5 hurricanes in the Bahamas in 1 year.
Oh dear.
And it devastated the Bahamas. It was worse than Dorian, and it was worse than the great Abacoa hurricane of 1932. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh wow. Listen, Wayne, I tell you, the Bahamas is like to turn to fate. And yes. when it's just kidding, that was a little joke. But no, we are a people of faith. You all, let's put that to work, because and pray to be spared. Certainly this hurricane season as well. Wayne, of course, we look forward to having you on and just informing us and keeping us aware, really from now throughout the hurricane season, and just hopefully it's just to talk about stuff and reminders and nothing more. Thank you so much. Any final words you'd like to say?
I do advise Bahamians to be prepared this hurricane season and every hurricane season, and wishing you all the best for 2025.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. Thank you. Of course, I want to thank at the top of tonight's show, Aaron Jones. Thank you very much for joining us. Peggy and Garth in the middle segments of the show, talking, of course, all the stories and issues and news that you are talking about. We certainly, of course, got into a good bit of those. And then, of course, meteorologist Wayne Neely here in this segment, speaking of the heat wave, that's expected to kind of sort of balance out a bit towards now and into the weekend, and then the hurricane season. So of course you all pay very, very close attention. And I want to thank all of you in Hey Freeport. Thank you so much for watching. I love having you all tuned in. I love getting your feedback as well. And everybody else watching, including right here in New Providence, thank you so much for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Thank you so much for joining us. Make it a great evening.